According to the Black and Missing Foundation, 64,000 Black women and girls were missing in 2014. 64,000. Take that number in. How has so many Black women and girls vanished without a trace compared to their white counterparts? One theory is that Black women are being sold into human trafficking, particularly sex trafficking by Black men. In 2018, 62% of all human trafficking suspects were African American males. I'm Candace McCollum, and this is part 4 of The Invisible Ones, Voices of the Missing. Say their names: Quanda L. Crider, Angela Prophet, Pamela Wilson, Velma Howard, Diamond Turner, Catherine Buchanan, Valerie Marie Jackson, Laura Dawn Harbin, and Nicole L. Ridge. Today, you'll meet Chicago native Brenda Myers Powell. Powell is a survivor of drug addiction, physical abuse, and the mean streets of Chicago, where she spent 25 years as a prostitute. She has now established the nonprofit Dreamcatcher Foundation with fellow ex-addict Stephanie Daniels Wilson. Here is Brenda Myers' story of growing up on Chicago's West Side.
As far as someone telling me that I was great, I was valuable, and I was going to do something fantastic one day in my life, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that from anybody. You know what I mean? I can't remember, but I may have heard it from a teacher or two somewhere, but not regular enough to make me feel great about myself. I started getting molested at the early age of 4 years old. My self-esteem was on the ground, even though I did my best to pick it up.
Sexual and physical abuse are the two top contributors to the increase of sex trafficking when it comes to Black women and girls. According to Rights for Girls organization, Black girls are more likely to experience sexual and physical abuse than their racial counterparts. Myers went on to explain that while growing up, it was normal for her to see domestic violence. In fact, some women back then were encouraged by other women to engage in certain sexual behavior to either get or keep a man. Myers Powell left her grandmother's home at the age of 14 and had her first sexual experience.
To make you feel lesser than spiritually and mentally.
Some may wonder, how do some women fall into this trap? And why won't she just get up and leave? Well, it's not that easy. According to Myers Powell, who explains how a woman or a young girl can be tricked by their offender, who all too often is someone they know well.
They first meet you and they come as like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm Dr. Jekyll when I meet you. I'm concerned about you. I think, you know, I treat you really well and I get you to like me. And then I become Mr. Hyde and tell you this is the way it's going to be. And by that time, you're caught up.
Chicago is the third largest hub for sex trafficking in the United States. Myers explains why.
We have 2 large major airports. We have conventions. We have a lot of major things going on to feed the human trafficking set. So I worked for the Sheriff's Department for 10 years. I was part of the human trafficking task force there. I saw girls coming in and out of the state and the city of Chicago from all over the country.
When asked why Black women represent such a high percentage of those being sex trafficked, she says much of it has to do with how we've been treated historically in America.
We've been treated like this through history. And this is a part of what our history tells us. I mean, we came over here and we were immediately separated from our families to be treated like this, and even worse. And so when we did come into ourselves as trying to be better, but the stigma, this thing, this was still there. And then we have myths and misconceptions in our own race about how we raise our children and the things that we have been told to us.
The Center on Poverty and Inequality created a study which found that adults view Black girls less innocent and more adult-like than white girls. The study also found that compared to white girls of the same age, Black girls were viewed as in need of less nurturing, less protection, less support, are more independent, and know more about sex. This phenomenon is referred to as adultification. Because of these views, it makes it easier for our society and law officials to criminalize Black girls rather than see them as victims. Myers Powell was prostituting on the streets of Chicago from the age of 14 until 39. She credits her daughter for helping her turn her life around.
My oldest daughter, Prune, my daughter, Peaches, came over there to visit me. I was in the recovery home, right? Mm-hmm. And Prune was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And I just looked at her and I said, God, I ain't gonna go back. I'm gonna be a better grandmama than I was a mother.
In 2008, Myers Powell and her best friend, Stephanie Daniels Wilson, founded the Dreamcatcher Foundation. It has grown from a local support group to being recognized globally in its efforts to end human trafficking.
We offer referrals, the outreach situation where we go out on the streets and we service the girls, and we hand out care packages, we hand out condoms, we McDonald's cards if they're really hungry, or on the van we have water and granola bars. We do immediate needs. We're a crisis, and crisis does not make an appointment, so we're open 24/7. We have a hotline, 1-844-WE-DREAM, that they can call, and at any time we'll pick them up wherever they are, if they're in crisis or if they're in a situation and they need to get out of it, and we send a team over there to pick them up and get them out of it and get into a safe place.
Brenda Miles Power is now 64 and was recently appointed to the United States Advisory Council on Human Trafficking. Her new book, Leaving Breezy Street, is available now and tells the story of her brutal yet beautiful life. Her riveting documentary, Dreamcatchers, is coming to WVON's digital streaming network, WVON TV, in early 2022. And to learn more about her work, you can visit thedreamcatcherfoundation.org. On the next and final installment of The Invisible Ones, we'll explore how in 2018, a pregnant United States postal worker vanished without a trace after leaving her Southside home in broad daylight. Why didn't her story capture national headlines? Why haven't local police or the federal government gotten more involved? And why does the name Kiara Coles not ring a bell amongst America's missing women? I'm Candace McCollum. Thank you for listening.